Hi all, nice to meet you once again for another session. Today we are going to do moth orchids. So here I have the moth orchids cutter, the veiner which I'm using, and I have some wires here. I have 26 and 24 grade wires. Then I'm having a roller cutter here, and then spatula, and then as usual your rolling pin, some a ball tool, all these things you need. So now let's start with the throat of the orchids which I'm going to make, moth orchids. Okay, so for that what I'm going to do is just take a small tiny pinch of gum paste, even lesser than this, as small as possible. Okay, very tiny this is, and then I'm just going to make a teardrop shape in this. Okay, once I make the teardrop shape, then little bit take the glue, remove excess glue, and here I enter from the bigger side of the teardrop. Okay, the pointed is on top, so the bigger side is here. So just squeeze them nicely like this. Okay, so once you have done this, squeeze them nicely. Once you have done this, just bend them a bit. See this? I'm going to show it more near, don't worry. See this? Like this, like a small parrot beak you are doing it. So then I'm just going to make two small holes here, one here, one here. Okay, see, like this. Okay, this is your throat part of the orchids. Okay, so make this and it should get dried. So what I always do is this part, this throat part also, and this one part of the tongue, we call it as a tongue or a throat, like that. So both I will do it one day before, so it gets dried and so it's easy to fix up. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make the throat now. This is the tongue, we call it. Let's call this as a throat. Okay, this is always, you will have a lot of different sizes or different shapes here. So it doesn't matter, even if it's going to be in a single one, we can cut it and do it into two. Okay, but this already has a double tentacle, so I'm going to use this as it is, and I'm going to show you what are the things which I'm going to add on to this. Okay, so let's take the gum paste. So once again, just make a nice thin sausage. Here I'm just going to use a brush, backside of the brush. So I'm just going to thin it as usual, how I'm going to do. Then just press one side of it and just release it. Once again, press and release. Okay, the same way, go up, center, press and release. Press and release. Okay, the center part, as I always do, release this, and then the ridge alone stands here. See, it's nicely, the ridge alone stands here. Okay, once it's been done, now I'm going to make sure the ridge flows till the end. Okay, I'm going to show you what I'm trying to tell you. If you see here, slowly, carefully, I'm just removing this off. Just be a bit careful that you don't cut off the tentacles of the throat. Okay. Okay, now if you see, the ridge is till this end. Okay, so now I'm going to take the wire. So for this I'm going to take a 28 wire. I prefer white always, I tell you, because if your flower is going to be white, when we are going to insert, it's not going to be visible outside also. So just insert until your ridge is there. Okay, just be careful when you do this. Yeah, see this? Just position it up, squeeze this guy, squeeze this guy here. Okay, now this as it is, we have got a shape. Now we need to work on this. I'm going to show what I'm going to do. Just be a bit careful on this. Always when you're making the throat, what I do is make 2 or 3 extra. So when I'm working on it, when I'm going to join it, if it gets broken, I use another one. So always it's safe to have 1 or 2 throats extra. Okay, that will save you the time and the stress that you have broken it off or something. So the next, what I'm going to do is take a ball tool. Here what I'm going to do is just I'm just cupping a bit as well as elongating the size a bit. Okay, not overly, a bit. That's it. Then I am going to press this. Okay, when I'm going to press this, see here, I'm just squeezing this here and squeezing this guy up, and then squeezing this guy here. In the meantime, the same way you can squeeze this guy a bit towards the openness like this, and then squeeze this guy. Okay, and always this, the tentacles can be bent. Okay, this is what I told you, just be careful with this. Okay, squeeze this nicely, and you can just give him like this. And for even this guy, hold your sides and flip the sides a little bit and then squeeze them. Okay, yeah, see this shape, and squeeze like this. This should be like this. So try to bend it as much as possible, but be careful that you don't break it. Okay, this is your center. Okay, this is your center. So once you have done this, what I do is, inside you have a small lift up. So that also actually we can do in this itself. I'll show you through a small step. Just squeeze, because we have the center too much there. You can just squeeze this guy and give the line like that. I'll show you for a second. If you could see the center, I have given a line, so you can do that. So this is your throat. Okay, once your throat is ready, leave it dry like this. So it should get dry properly like this. Squeeze this like this, let it get properly dried. Okay, then so I will leave it like this so it gets that bent. Okay, so once you get that right, then we go for the petals. One more thing which I want to tell you is, see, there are the soft versions of Moth Orchid, like the the petals has the less veins. So these are the minimum veins you have. This is the silicone ones which has the less veins one you have, or you have the strong veins also in Moth Orchid. So I'm going to work on this strong veins one because I like this, and this flower looks more nicer also with a lot of character to it. Okay, so I'm going to work on this. I'm going to show what I'm going to do with this. The cutter shape is a bit different, so I'm not going to work with this shape. I'm going to trim off some. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the trim off. Just roll it up. Make sure, see, these moth orchids are very fleshy, so no need to make very thin or no need to make very thick. Don't make it very thick also. So it's a medium fleshy flower. Okay. So release the top, the sides, as I always say. Make sure your ridge is also, it's not, see, a lot of them complain to me saying that after adding the wire it starts rotating. I'll tell you, when it rotates, if you make the ridge very thick, then the wire starts rotating after it gets dried. So the 2 points which you need to know in this is, first thing is you should make sure you make a thin ridge. The second one I'm going to tell you is you need to squeeze the edge of the wire and the gum paste point. Okay, that is compulsory, you need to do, then only you can work on it. I'm going to show you what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, now just press this and I'm releasing it. Okay, once I have this shape, now I'm going to add the 24 grade wire. Even 26 you can add if you find 24 is very strong for you. Okay, I've done this. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to remove this cut. Okay, so I'm just using my rolling cutter and just cutting off the edge. So the same way here I go. I remove this. Because I don't have that exact moth orchid cutter shape, so I'm doing this. If you have, there's no need for you to do this. Okay, once I have done this, now I'm going to keep it on the veiner. See, how I'm going to do is in the sides. If I'm going to press it hard here, then the wire is going to peep out. So that you should be very careful when you're working on it. In that way it doesn't come out. Because a lot of them say the wire is coming out. So this is one thing to avoid, is you should not give pressure on the wire. Now see how clear it is. Now I'm going to take it and I'm going to show you how beautiful it is. You see? And make sure this point, see this point only I'm telling you, just press it, but don't de-shape it. I want it like this. Once you have done this, then you can keep this in the apple tray. So it is, it holds the shape like this. Okay, so you need to keep it in the apple tray. You need to make two of this, two of this and one of this. Okay, so we're going to make one more of this and then two of this and one of this. I'm going to show you now. Now the down part, I need to do two of this. the sharp edge. See, you could note it like this. One petal has a sharp edge, one is a blunt. So in this sharp edge I'm going to do 2, and in the blunt I'm going to do 1. Okay, so for that, the same way. Just roll this off. So just as it is, as I told you, make the ridge. Don't, as I told you, don't make it very thin or very thick. As I told you, this is more of a fleshy flower. So if you make it fleshy and nice, it will look more nicer. But that doesn't mean that you need to make it very thick and it will look ugly. So make sure you have the right size and texture of it, then only it will look more nicer. Okay, that's fine for me. So now I'm going to get it cut. And one more thing, I'm seeing that students are asking me, the ridge, the wire, if they add the wire, like either it is more than half if they add, and when it comes, the bends, when it comes, the wire peeps out. See, once again I'm telling you, if you feel that the wire peeps out, then do it lesser than half, so there is no problem for you. This always happens when you use a wrong wire. If you use a wrong wire, then the thickness of the wire will be hitting it out, so the wire comes out. So always make sure you have a right size of wire when you're working on. Okay, now see this, I'm going on top here using a sponge, pressing the sides. See, how much ever I pressed, no wire has come out. This is because, see, exactly in the bend part there is no wire. Lesser than that only the wire is there. So that's the reason it doesn't come out. Okay, now see how beautiful the veins are. Same as I told you, one more of the same thing I'm going to do. When you join them all together, we make 4 or 5 flowers together and join them together, they look amazing. I'm going to show you how to make the buds also. So together you can do the buds, they look beautiful. Orchids, as it is, orchids are beautiful flowers. First thing when we say orchids, we remember Singapore. I know I remember Singapore. How about you guys? I have no idea, because anywhere and everywhere when you go there, you will see from the airport to every part of place orchids flowing down. Same way, now you see there, just nice. I've entered, and see this, I'm squeezing this part. That's another important thing for you, for the wire, for not rolling, okay, or else it will start rotating, sorry, it will start rotating. Now once again press here, give it a nice press so you get a nice impression. Once again, see how beautiful the impressions have come. So the same way, you could see how I've just kept in the apple trays. See, just leave it like this in the apple trays so it forms its own beautiful shape. So once you have done that, so I have one, I told you in the blunt shape I need to do one. I'm going to use the same veiner for that. The orchid is more tricky only while you tape it and join all the petals together. A bit tricky there. The rest, it's all easy. Just hold it, release it. Just squeeze and release one side. Press and release one side. As I always tell you, make sure you don't have a very thick ridge. Just a thin ridge is nice. Okay, now once again a quick press and just remove it. Now use the wire. I've used here 26 because it's not very big petal. It's a medium-sized petal and totally it's kind of thin, so it's no need to use a 24. Definitely if you use a 24 it's going to peep out there, so make sure you don't use a 24, either use 26 or 28. Now see how much I've pressed and nothing has got peeped out, right? So this is the technique which you need to work on for the wires not to be seen. See, even here you're not able to see any wires, right? So that's the way. So this is the total set of orchid petals what we have done. Now next is the arrangement of the petals. The coloring now. So now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a green and a yellow. Okay, so this is the neck. So I'm just going to take a sunflower yellow, or you can take any dark yellow, lemon yellow, dark yellow. Okay, just in the center, I just give a ticklish level. Don't overdo it. So always, you can always see for a guide for real orchids, so you will know. Just the center of the throat, I've just given a yellow. Okay, and always you can give a little bit green towards the sides, so it doesn't need to be very dark green. A mild green is also nice, like this. Brush it off a bit in the corners. See, like this. Just brush it off the corners like this with a light green. Okay, once you have done this, I have a red marker here. The sharper side, the thinner ones I'm going to take and draw some lines. If you see the real ones, it has markings like this. Okay, if you see this, you can do the markings like this, and then we will start joining the petals. Now, as I told you, we are going to join the neck and the tongue first, and then the side petals, and then the top and the down petals. Okay, so always, as I told you, just be careful when you're working on the tongue. So what I do is hold it carefully, and then quick bend it. You see, I even quick bend it like this. So once this has been done, now we have the tongue here. We need to join this two together. Okay, this is also I've colored yellow. Need to join it together first. So I've just taken a thin tape. So I've just half the tape, and then hold it firmly, stretch your tape nicely, and cover the whole. This should make sure the pointed edge should come on the front. Okay, so that's very important. And then cover your whole wire with the tape. And now see this. This we can even adjust later, so don't worry about this. So once the basic thing you have done this, now the next what you need to do is your side petals. So hold your side petals like this, see, and then quick bend it. So exactly it bends where we need to work on. Okay, if you see there, if you see here, see behind, everything should be on top of the wire. So I'm going to lift it a little bit high, so I can easily tape it up. This part, the taping part, is a bit tricky, so just be careful. Stretch and tape and tape until down. Why I'm telling you for this until down, because it needs to be firm, holding firmly like this. See, it's not moving at all. So now the other side. So now the other side I'm going to do. So hold your petal and quick bend. Okay, the same part exactly on top, same part. Don't give any space. See, don't give any space. Try to keep it the same level as much as possible. You can even lift a little bit if you want. Hold, stretch the tape, hold it as near as possible, stretch the tape, and then you can tape it. Make sure it's not rotating, it should not. That's the reason we cover till the edge of the wire. Okay, okay, now the next, as I told you, the top. Exactly, you need to keep position in the way where, see, there is no wire is visible. So in that way, exactly keep it there. Firm, hold it firm. It should be firm, nice. Go up as much as possible. Even lift it. Now tape it. This is the part, as I told you, you need to be a bit careful, or else there are chances for your neck to be broken. Neck of the orchid can be easily broken. Okay. Now the down petals. So down petal, once again hold the petal, quick bend. I'm not bending it fully, I'm bending it half. Okay, see where I've kept exactly the same point. Everything should be in the same point. Hold it nicely, firm. Stretch your tape. Stretch your tape nicely. Do another roll. Then start covering it up till down. Leave this like that. The next one, quick bend, the same point. This is the very important thing, is make sure that everything is in the same point. That's the reason I keep on telling you that it needs to be in the same point. Just bring it as high as possible. Okay, now just tape it. Okay, now once you have taped, then you can adjust however you want to. Okay, now just bring it straight, a little bit up. You can bring, then even this you guys want to bend, we can bend now. And just push this brown. Now you see how beautiful your orchids are. So this is the way you prepare your orchids. So you can give different shades also. You can give the throat a different shade, and the sides you can give still little bit more different colors also. So it depends upon how you wanted it. But this is how we make the orchids. Okay. Hope you guys understood this. Now I'm going to show you how to join them with buds. So we will make the bud. So it's very easy. I'm going to show you how to make the buds of the orchids, and then we will join them together. Now we are going to see how to make the buds. Take equal size a small ball. It's a bit bigger than the pea size. Okay, so make a round and then make a like a teardrop shape. This shape you can bring, and what I do here is just bend this a little bit. Okay, if you see, I'm going to show you how I'm bending it so you could see. Okay, now you see this sharper, more sharper, and then bend this. Yeah, like this. Okay, once you've done this, now I've taken a 22 grade wire. I'm just going to insert the center and squeeze and settle this guy properly and reshape him. Okay, now you see. Yeah, each and every orchid has a different shape of a bud. So this is one type of bud which I'm making. Okay, once this has been done like this, if you could see, one side sharp. So what I'm going to do, take this tool and then from top go down from top like this, and then once again in the corner of this you need to make sure that the indent is more stronger. Okay, once the indent is stronger in this, then we can then color it. I'm going to show you how to color it. Now coloring the bud. So I'm going to give a mild green. Let me see how I'm going to give. Always go from the down part and then come to the top. So the darker portion will be always in the down, if you notice. So wherever I start once again in the same point and come out. See? The same way you can cover them all the places. Just brush in the back and just pull it out. Okay, just evenly you can just brush it. Okay, like this is more than enough. So half white will be visible and the green part is this. Okay, so like this you can color and leave it. As I told you once again, just only the inside part I'm just coloring more, other parts I'm just leaving out. So I want that half white to be visible. Okay, like this is more than enough for coloring. Now I'm going to join them. I'm going to show you how I'm joining them. Okay, for that I have taken a 16 grade wire. You can either take a 18 or 16, whichever you get in. Okay, so I'm just going to add the first bud. Just tape it nicely. The second bud, you can always tape the bud directly first. And then the second, for the second bud, we can just go a little bit down. And now if we're going to tape this, we'll be doing a lot of adjusting later, but now the positioning is more important. Just have the positioning. Okay, once you have taped this, now we'll add the flowers. I'm just going to cut the down part so I can add the flowers. Okay, now if you see, I'm keeping as near as possible. Okay, like this. Now you can use a full tape also to cover this, so it will be easy to handle. Just use a full tape. But just be careful when you're working on this, because as I told you, they are very fragile. The tongue and the neck are very fragile. Tape it up in a way they are firm. Okay, once I have taped this, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the tweezers, hold the neck a little bit and just give a slight position of bend. Okay, the same thing here also, I'm going to just give a slight position of bend. Okay, and now the next flower. So you can always add the next flower as near as possible. You can add the next flower as near as possible, and then we are going to bend it also a bit, so don't worry, I'm going to show you. The only part you need to be careful while taping also here is, as I told you, the neck part. Tape it firmly. Okay, once this has been done, you can see this has been bent the other side. This either you can bend it the, I'll use a little bit force, so I'm going to use a plier and then give a quick bend. Yeah, now if you see how they are, as simple as it is, you can work on. They look beautiful. Just 2 flowers, see how much space it covers. So this is the way we do the orchids. Okay, hope you guys like this tutorial. Soon with another tutorial, let me come back. Okay, so this is your orchids, moth orchids. Thank you.